Well, I've started doing a dessert. I've started doing the old school pud, the Manchester tart, which I've recorded the pastry part and I've put that in the fridge, the pastry. That's chilling. I thought, you know, I'm hungry now. So I thought, while the camera's out and everything else, I'm going to knock up something quick. So I've just had a quick scoot round and thought, what can I have? And I thought, right, something different. I'm going to Mexico. What makes it Mexican? Well, if I talk in a Mexican accent, that should do the job. No. In all seriousness, it is a dish known as Huevos Rancheros. It's actually a brunch dish that we have it, probably breakfast over there, which basically it's an egg dish. There's hundreds of different variations. This is my take on a variation. So to make it practical for what I want tonight, I'm actually going to use some bought tortilla. I can't do Mexican, so forget about that. Tortilla wraps. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create like a base in a dish, which is going to be a tortilla wrap. So what I want is I'm going to put it in the oven. I'm just going to squish the sides up a little bit. And what I want is these edges to get a bit crispy and the bottom to probably stay a little bit soft. So I'm going to get this in now because we're going to crack on with the cooking. And we'll go through. So I've got the oven set to 180. I'm going to kind of quick squiz through the ingredients. So I've got red onion, half of one. I've got some red pepper, which I'm going to be using half of one. I've got a clove of garlic, which I'm going to use a full one. I've got a red chili, which I'm going to use a few slices later on. I've got some of the old Mexican. This is what makes it Mexican. Mexico is this is chipotle chili powder. You can buy paste, which you could use, but I've bought the powder. So that's going in instead of using a chili powder. To complement the spices, I'm using, which is a spice over there, is cumin. That's going in there. Then I'm using some tomatoes. Then I'm using some eggs, which I'm using the rich yellow yolk ones to make it look nice and taste nice. And to finish off, we're going to put some cheese on top and a bit of coriander. So it sounds a simple dish because it is a simple dish, and we're going to do it all now. So real-time dish, well, sort of real-time because it'll be going in the oven to bake the eggs. But we'll get it going, and we'll look. I'm sure I've said that before. Right, so we've got half an onion, and I could have diced it, but you know what? I fancy sliced. Why not? I said this before. Sometimes I just start doing things, and I think, what do I actually feel like? So do I want diced? No, I'm going to slice it today. So there's half my onion sliced. I want half a pepper, which I tell you what, I'm going to go down the technique I was using before because this is what I want. Place it on the board like that. Different ways of doing it. There is totally, and I'm going to follow the cheek of the flesh round because I don't want the white bit in there. That's come off a bit shy of that, but let's do another one. That's a bit good. And probably another third. And there we go. And that one I'm going to slice again because I fancy sliced rather than diced. It's just like that. I think it's the way the mood takes you sometimes with cooking. You know, we can be so prescriptive with things, and sometimes it's just really not necessary. It's just, well, what do you fancy? You know, you do it when you go to a restaurant. You don't. It's like, what do you fancy? Well, I don't go to restaurants. I haven't been since I've been on holiday. I tend to find that most it's starting to get a bit toasty. This pan, you know. Let's get these in quick. Right, there we go. We're all done, and this is going to be quick. Groundnut oil. There's not much left in, so just whack that in. Now this is going to get a bit smoky, this, because hot oil, etc., etc. Then just whack these in, and they're not going to go in for long. So get my favourite little broken spoon if I can find. Here we go, my little broken spoon. Get them cracked in there. So it's not, I'll tell you what, I'll get another one. I sometimes like using two. And I'm doing it in a wok like this because I've got a glass lid. So because I'm baking eggs, I can actually see what's going on in there. So it really won't take long. And I'm going to get a little bit of salt in at the start. Just to, because I really, not a good pinch of salt. I don't want any colour. So as I keep on saying, what I'm actually going to do in this instance is to add a little bit of salt just to draw some moisture out. And I'm going to turn it down a tad because mine is induction and it can be a little bit on the aggressive side. While that's going on, I'm going to get a clove of garlic, and this one I'm going to crush it because I don't want it paste because it's quite high heat cooking. So I just want that to soften. And you know, one of the little tips, you know, if you fry it like this, you think I've not got enough moisture, and you think, you know what, I'm going to add a little bit more oil. Don't do it, especially in Chinese cooking. There's a big thing, tiny bit of water while you're frying. Yeah. Just two things. It momentarily cools the pan down. The water produces steam, which helps with the cooking, so it actually speeds up cooking. You're making it healthier because you're not putting more oil in there. And literally, that little bit of water there, they're done and ready. I'm going to go in with my spices. So I've got 2 teaspoons of cumin going in. 2 good teaspoons of cumin, get them in there. Depending on how hot you want to give it a stir. I've turned it down a little bit so it's not super aggressive. And I'm going to put in, I like it spicy. Let's get that right. I like spicy food. So I'm going to go in just over half a good teaspoon of chilli, which will be enough. Now that's just turned to a bit of paste in there, which we want. If you're worried about your spices burning, same thing, bit of water in there. And actually, in the Indian cooking, one of the recommendations when you add the spices, because you don't want to burn anything, you don't want to burn a spice, put a little bit of water in if you need to. I'm kind of just doing part of this is just part of the demonstration as well, just to say what you can do. If this happens, you can do this. If that happens, you can do that. Followed by, wait for it, tin of tomatoes. My favourite ones, these ones. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little look to see how much liquid is in there. When it just gets going, I'm going to taste everything and then decide what I'm going to do in terms of adjustment. This is just for me. Well, I say it's just for me, it's meal for one tonight. Let me just have a go. Do you know what? I think I'm going to be careful when you add the spices and you taste straight away because they take a little bit of time to develop. So I've tasted that, and it's getting there. It's getting to the back of my throat, which is generally how you tell how spicy something is. The further down you taste it, kind of the hotter it is. So it's like if it goes from like a tingling on your tongue and then you get it in the back of your throat, then your lips tingle and stuff like that. There's kind of different ways that you measure how hot something is. So sometimes it's hot. Well, as it hit the back of your throat, is it making your lips go numb? There's degrees of hot. So get that up, get that boiling, jobs are good. And as soon as that gets to the point, that's tasting nice. With tomatoes, you can, if you want, you can add a little bit of sugar if they're not sweet enough, especially if you're using like some varieties which are not that good. I'm happy with that. And literally once that comes to the boil, which it is, getting there, and you see it's just bubbling in the middle, I really want it all going, so I'm going to keep stirring it until we get the whole thing going. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I add the eggs, if it's not all hot, it's only the stuff in the middle of the pan that's going to start cooking the eggs. I want the whole amount of liquid to start cooking those eggs off. So there we go. Just get that, I'll get that focused until I know it's good and boiling. I'm just going to check on that bread. And you know what? That's kind of where I want it to be. It's smelling nice. It's smelling like a corn tortilla should. But those edges have gone, in the middle it's soft. Those edges have gone a little bit crispy, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Now that's going now. So all we're going to do, we're going to create a few little wells in there. And we're going to crack our egg in there. using the back of the knife. Just give it. The other thing is, well, be confident when you're cracking eggs. If you just tap it like that and give it a little crack, and then you're having to go at it, and then you get bits of shell out. So one confident like little tap like that. So you've got it like a line, and just break it straight in there. Get it in there. It's just what you want. I'm going to do 3 in this. Little well, turn that up. Do you know what's going on here? What's going on? I think I've touched it and turned it off, which is not good. Yeah, right, there we go, and again. There's 2. Final one going in there. No, that's gone off. Let's reset it. That's it. Back on. Honestly, it can be dead temperamental sometimes, this. I've just said about confident, and I've half done it, haven't I? Last one's going in there. I tell you why. I've moved the pan, haven't I? It's gone off the. No wonder it's not working. On with the lid. So let's get that up. Yeah, I've moved it. It's got to see where the pan is. If the pan's not there, it's thinking right. It's not done it. So there we are. It's up to the boil, and that's doing its job. And I'm going to say, right, for now, we're going to leave it here. I'm looking for that to come up to temperature and to really start cooking the white. And then I'm going to put some cheese over the top, and possibly when I put the cheese on, I think that's I'll stick it in the oven just to melt the cheese on top. You can either have the eggs runny and just the white set, or you can have it baked all the way through, depending on what your preference is. I'm a bit between the two actually. They're nice both ways, because you've got plenty of liquid from the sauce, so you don't necessarily need more liquid from the eggs. But it's nice either way, to be fair. So for now, Huevos Rancheros doing its thing. We're going to come back and look at it when it's near the serving time. Sorry to point, but I have to get ready with my finger to turn this phone off, which is working at the moment, which is good, very good. So right, we'll see you soon.